Hello everyone. We were having a discussion on transcription, and in the first class we have already discussed about the process of transcription and what does it mean, how transcription is similar with the replication, and what are the differences between transcription and replication. Next, we had a very important discussion about the RNA polymerase enzyme, that is the DNA dependent RNA polymerase, and what are the major parts or subunits of that enzyme in E. coli bacterium, and the bacterium E. coli bacterium, and what are the function of those subunits. And now let us consider some of the important factors. We also had some discussion on what is called the coding strand, what is template strand, and why the coding strand is template strand is having complementary sequences with the newly formed transcript. Now, from that point, we start our discussion today, where we can see that the diagram where the coding strand is there in red in the 5' to 3' direction, that is 3' to 5' direction. Important point is there is a sequence which is denoted as +1. So here we can see that site. So this is very important because two things are important. Number one, why it is +1, and that means it will denote the first sequence to be transcribed there. So in connection with the transcription, the +1 means it is a sequence which is present in the coding strand. So that means that there is a sequence which will be complementary to this +1, and that will be there in the template strand. Now, important thing is that it is always commonly seen that the first +1 sequence in case of prokaryote, in case of transcription, will be a purine. So what are the purines? Adenine and guanine. So the +1 will be either adenine or guanine. So naturally, the complementary base will be thymine or cytosine. And naturally, the RNA transcript will begin with purine. So the 5' first nucleotide in the RNA transcript will be a purine. So this is very important thing. Next thing is that there is no such sequence known as 0. So in the coding strand, there is no such sequence which is to be denoted as 0. Any sequence which is situated upstream. What is upstream? Upstream is to the 5' end in relation to the +1. So in relation to +1, anything which is 5' will be denoted as -1. So is it clear? It is +1, then it will be -1. Next, we proceed. There in this diagram, there are certain other -35 region, promoter. We shall proceed and we shall see, consider those things later on. Next, what is known as transcription bubble. So this is this slide of this lecture. Designations are denoted as on the coding strand. So always it is the coding strand where we read the sequences, and that is why it is called sense strand. Sense. The first sequence is +1, second one +2, and first nucleotide situated to the 5 prime is known as -1, and there is no site noted as 0. What I have just told you. The sequence present on the template strand are complementary to the transcript, also known as antisense strand. So this slide we are getting only one information extra, so that is the coding strand is also called the sense strand. So there are terms coding strand or strain strand and template strand or antisense strand, and the numbering of the nucleotides that we have gone through. Next, we go to the discussion of the stages of transcription. So in the E. coli bacteria, the important enzyme that is the RNA polymerase, and this RNA polymerase is a large enzyme having, we have discussed, 2 alpha subunits, one beta and another beta prime, and another is the omega subunit. Already we have shown in that last class. So this total, all these subunits coming together, they form the RNA polymerase in the E. coli. And this E. coli bacteria, the transcription process, as you can see, there are several stages. One is the template binding and closed complex formation. So this is number 1, template binding of the RNA polymerase, and there is formation of a closed complex. We shall see what is that. Number 2 is the open complex formation. Number 3, chain initiation. Number 4, promoter clearance. And number 5, chain elongation. And number 6, chain termination. So we discussed one after another all these, but again we just recapitulate. Template binding complex formation, open complex formation, chain initiation, promoter clearance, chain elongation, and chain termination, and RNA polymerase release. So this is in a nutshell the cycle of transcription in E. coli. But if we consider, in the last class we have told that the replication and transcription, there is one similarity, that both of them have got 3 important phases. So what are the 3 important phases? The 3 important phases are initiation, elongation, and termination. So it is very important that initiation, elongation, and termination. So we shall consider them one after another. First thing is initiation. So for initiation, we must know that there the difference of RNA and DNA, this thing, replication and transcription. Replication and transcription. The difference is replication needs a primer. Transcription, does it need a primer? No. So formation of RNA does not need a primer. Replication, the entire DNA is replicated. But in case of transcription, only a portion undergoes transcribed, only a gene or a segment of the DNA. So segment of the DNA undergoes transcription. So that means there is, since a segment of the DNA will be transcribed, so there is a question of selection. There is a question of selection, which part will be transcribed. The polymerase has to go and find out. Suppose a big land is available, but I am an industrialist. I have to select, I know I want to make a factory, but I have to then, industrialist will come and select the particular land most suitable where the factory will come up. Why? Because that will have access to roads, that will have access to water and many other things. That the soil quality. So these are the things the industrialist will look after. So to just select the land. So here it is not the question of the quality. This is the question of the particular DNA sequence which will be transcribed. But that DNA sequence is not where the replication, the enzyme will bind. There are certain sequences. It is seen there are certain DNA sequences adjacent to the transcription start site where the polymerase binds. So there are certain sequences adjacent to the polymerase start site where the enzyme binds. Those sequences are known as promoter sequences. So we repeat, the sequences where the polymerase binds and which is adjacent. An important thing, these promoter sequences may be situated upstream, that is towards the 5' end of the DNA, in relation to coding step. So those sequences may be situated 5' to the coding strand, or they may be 3', that is even overhanging the start site. That may be uh, required, that may be used. So this is one area. We must remember that there is a promoter sequence, there are sequence. Now, E. coli, or in case of the bacteria, the promoter region, they have actually certain common sequences, and it is seen that the promoter region usually are AT rich. So it is the promoter region, they usually are AT rich. So naturally, this diagram you see, there is a promoter region which is just close to this start site, and that is the base sequence is TAT, AAT. So there are how many bases? There are 6 bases, but there may be more also. It is about 10 bases upstream, and there is another region about 35 bases upstream, and there the sequence is TTGACA. Now, look at this side. The RNA polymerase discussion. The RNA polymerase, what is holoenzyme? Holoenzyme is core enzyme plus holoenzyme is core enzyme plus sigma subunit. So holoenzyme is core enzyme plus sigma subunit. Let us see the diagram once again. Or video. This is hello, hello. So we just go back to the uh, class where we see the structure of the holoenzyme or the core enzyme. So this is the structure of the core enzyme. Before that, we just have one scope to see a video. Let us see this video. Ashish. একটু আওয়াজটা কম, এটা না আমরা সিস্টেম ঠিক আছে, একটু কম, যে ভলিউম আছে নাহলে আমি এখান থেকে কমাচ্ছি, ছেড়ে দেয় ঝামেলা, ঠিক আছে। So here in this we are
Transcription is the first step in the expression of the gene. It is the formation of a specific RNA sequence, specific DNA sequence. Transcription initiation occurs at a promoter, where RNA polymerase binds. RNA polymerase attaches to the promoter and begins to unwind the DNA. At the initiation site, the polymerase begins reading the DNA template strand and building a complementary RNA strand from 3 nucleoside triphosphates. The RNA strand grows by the addition of these substrate molecules to its 3' end. This is the elongation phase of transcription. Note that the bases and nucleotides of the RNA strand form pairs with the bases in the DNA strand. Also, note that the RNA nucleotides contain the sugar ribose, which has a 2' hydroxyl group, whereas the DNA nucleotides contain the sugar deoxyribose, which lacks this hydroxyl group. RNA polymerase functions similarly to DNA polymerase. It adds nucleotides to the 3' hydroxyl group of the last nucleotide. The DNA double helix rewinds as the RNA polymerase moves through. Like the unwinding, the rewinding is an energy-requiring process that is accomplished by RNA polymerase. When RNA polymerase reaches the termination site, the RNA transcript is released from the template. The DNA rewinds completely, and the RNA polymerase dissociates from it. The DNA and RNA polymerase can then participate in other rounds of transcription.
So let us come back to the original discussion. Here it is the RNA polymerase enzyme in Thermus aquaticus, but the similar is to that what there is the E. coli. So there are 2 alpha subunits, 2 beta, one is the beta and another is the beta prime and is the omega. This is the core enzyme. And we have told you last class that what is hollow enzyme? Hollow enzyme is nothing but the core enzyme and the sigma subunit. Here you see the sigma subunit. Today we shall see what is the function of sigma subunit, and we must remember the enzyme, and sigma is sigma. So E plus sigma is not forget to remember that E sigma. This is the RNA polymerase hollow enzyme, and that means E sigma. So E sigma must locate and bind physically to a promoter. So this is very important that to attach with the promoter site, the enzyme must be in the hollow enzyme form. So it is obvious that the sigma subunit actually take part in the initiation. Now to elaborate, the sigma subunit of bacterial RNA polymerase has dual role. So it has got 2 definite roles. Sigma association with the core polymerase decreases the affinity towards non-promoter DNA and simultaneously increasing hollow enzyme affinity towards promoter site. So it is implied that within the sigma subunit there is some mechanism by which it can bind more specifically with the promoter sequences, and the promoter sequences in the E. coli, as I have mentioned, prokaryotic promoter. We will come to that just now. So the striking pattern is noted by comparing bacterial promoters and 2 highly conserved base sequences, as I have shown you in one around the -10 region, and that is known as base sequence is known as Pibnow box. So it is very important to note that this Pibnow box in prokaryote, that is around the -10 sequence. It is not that exactly -10, it starts from -10, it may start from -10, may start from -11, but around -10, and the sequence is TAT8. So, and there is another 8 rich regions. Why? Because this AT helps in melting, easier melting, quick melting, because GC has triple hydrogen bonding, GC, guanine cytosine, triple hydrogen bonding, and that is why it will be difficult to melt that region. So we shall see next that just the most important thing for transcription is to get one strand, that is the template strand free. So that for that region we need to open up the DNA. So to open up the region DNA, we must have melting, and melting is only possible when easily possible if the sequence has got more number of AT. So the promoter region characterized by more AT base sequences, and ideally the E. coli or the prokaryotic promoters for the RNA polymerases, they have got some certain conserved sequences. Because the polymerase does not change its sequence, so the DNA it will act upon, the more the conserved the sequence will be, more easier will be for the polymerase to locate it and start the initiation. So that is why it is always better that the sequence remains same. But if not same, one or two changes may be possible, but drastic change of the promoter sequence is never good for the efficiency of transcription. So, for good transcription to occur, for more and more efficient transcription to occur, we need a very good AT-rich region and conserved sequences. So, there is a Britnau box and there is a -35 region. So, as you can see in this slide, -10 region has AT-rich 6 base sequence TAT, AAT, and it is also called Tata box in case of the eukaryote, prokaryote. And -35 has sequence 8 base pair TG, TT, GA, CA, where RNA polymerase first binds and forms a closed complex. So it is very important to note the term closed complex. In some texts we see pre-initiation complex, but it is most commonly there is a during transcription binding of the polymerase occurs and formation of a closed complex. Closed complex. So this closed complex will next gradually after closed complex is formed, RNA polymerase is now bound with the polymer this promoter site, and gradually this polymerase will slide more towards the start site. And but initially it is the sigma subunit which is bound, and as we have already told you that there is a property of the sigma subunit that it leads to increased affinity of the DNA. So that means it has tightly holds the DNA polymerase is tightly bound to the promoter site. And also we must know regarding the discussion of the promoter, there is a -10 region, there is a -35 region, and even another region around 40, -40 to 60, it is called UP or upstream element. UP, not Uttar Pradesh, but upstream element. It is a significant element because a subunit of alpha subunit of RNA polymerase. As in the diagram we have shown, two alpha subunits are there. Actually, two alpha subunits are there, and they bind with the upstream element. That means it helps in binding at a much distant location. Initial binding. Thereafter, the polymerase slides, and actually the role of the polymerase in the entire polymerase, other than the beta prime, one of the very important role of the polymerase is to search for the initiation site. So first alpha binds with the upstream, more towards 5 prime, and then gradually it slides and it searches for the 35, and more importantly the Britnau box. As and when it gets hold of the Britnau box, now the polymerase strongly attaches and now it is goes on searching on the DNA. So closed complex formation. First, holoenzyme searches the promoter site, as I have told you, and slides along the DNA to bind at a promoter site. This is called the closed complex. The sigma subunit recognizes the promoter site through several interactions with the nucleotide bases of the touches the promoter site and slides along the DNA to bind at a promoter site and forms a closed complex. Next, formation of open complex. So this is very important. Once promoter is located, E sigma. What is E sigma? E sigma is the hollow enzyme. This E sigma promoter complex now undergoes a temperature dependent conformation change, and that melts the DNA. Gradually, the promoter region itself starts melting. When we open a zipper, then it is not that entire zipper will open. It is a part of the zipper starts opening. Then gradually the gradually there is a movement and there will be gradual opening of the zipper. So this promoter region, then first polymerase binds, after tightly it binds, and other part not so tightly bound. Then there is a temperature dependent conformational change, and we shall see what exactly occurs. Now there will be separation of the DNA strand beginning from the Tata box and extending up to 2 to 3 bases from right side of the start site. So +2 and +3. So Tata or Prigno. Tata, the term we use more in case of the prokaryotes. So you can, and it will be +2 or +3. Now closed complex has now become the open complex. So gradually we see this is on the left hand side of the diagram we have the closed complex, on the right hand side we have a open complex. That means a portion of the DNA around the 5' to the AT TAT box to the right hand side to the +2 or +3 region, then there will be a portion of the DNA is now opened up, and with this polymerase bound to the portion of the DNA, it is called the open complex. So let us go to the discussion. We have now so far we know what is how the initiation of what are the promoters, what is closed complex known as the open complex. Now coming back to the one slide, these are the promoter sites. What is Prigno box? What is your -35 region? Why it is +1? These are all discussions we have done. Now going to one important slide, that is transcription bubble. The polymerization reaction takes place within a complex of DNA known as transcription bubble. It consists of a region of locally unknown DNA, about 17 base pairs. Within this 17 base pair region, the Watson-Crick base pairs are now exposed. There is some typing error. So within these 17 base pair regions that normally form Watson-Crick base pairs. So within these 17 base pair region, the base pairs that normally form Watson-Crick base pairs are now exposed. This is very important. So there is a melting, there is an unwinding, but there is a 17 base pair. So why these 17 base pairs? It is seen that in these 17 base pairs, actually the RNA-DNA hybrid will be formed. There will be, we see this diagram. This is the picture of the transcription bubble. Then in the middle we have the RNA-DNA hybrid helix, where the newly formed RNA is shown in green, and the template strand is shown in pink, and the coding strand is shown in blue. You see that there is a portion of the DNA in middle that is not having this normal Watson-Crick base pairing, but otherwise it had the Watson-Crick base pairing. So this is known as the portion, and this is known as the transcription bubble. So polymerase along with this partially unknown DNA is the transcription bubble. So it may have a curiosity why there is only 17 base pairs. It is seen that it goes back to that diagram where we see that the distance between the kata or the Grignard box and the minus 35 region is around 17 base pairs. So that so actually when the transcription starts, the initial belting occurs in such a fashion that this gap is maintained between those two regions where the tightly it holds the DNA and between it starts melting, and thereafter gradually it proceeds to the right hand side and keeping that distance between those two. But initially it is actually the logic that these two promoters have got this approximately this distance. So now coming back to the transcription bubble again, it is another such diagram of the transcription bubble. But what is important is that gradually the polymerase moves towards the 3' end of the coding strand. Gradually the polymerase moves to the 3' end of the coding strand, shown in blue. And it leads to a positive supercoiling in the 3' end of the coding strand. To relieve the tension, to relieve the stress, the DNA undergoes unwinding. The DNA undergoes gradual unwinding ahead of the 3' end of the coding strand. And as a result of which there may be a torsional pressure created, and that may lead to a negative supercoiling behind the 5' end of the transcribed region. To relieve that torsional stress, actually the DNA may undergo opposite supercoil, the negative supercoil. So both these cases, the positive supercoils created ahead of the transcribed region and negative supercoils created due to torsional stress behind the transcribed region. To relieve them, the topoisomerases, as we know in replication, the topoisomerases are also important for transcription. They relieve the torsional stress and just allow the RNA polymerase to slide smoothly along the transcribed region. So this is what is the concept of transcription bubble, and how it is so important to keep the DNA unwound so that the RNA-DNA hybrid is formed, and gradually this hybrid, now the RNA, short RNA is getting elongated, but we shall see that in the later part. We have already seen how the open complex is formed. Let us see this slide. Polymerization kicks off. So now the polymerase has now access to nucleotide sequence of the template strand. The open complex has a transcription bubble of 20 base pair length. The binding is followed by a change in RNA polymerase conformation. The first nucleotide, as I have already told, that it is usually a purine, gets associated with the beta subunit of the RNA polymerase, initiation site. And the RNA polymerase analyzes the polymerization of the first nucleotide with the second nucleotide according to template strand sequence forming phosphodiester bond. So it is the first sequence forms a bond with the complementary site on the template strand. The second nucleotide comes and forms a complementary base pairing. It all happens on the beta subunit of the RNA polymerase. The alpha, I know, as I told you, that it has got a certain role, and we have also mentioned the role of this sigma, and now the role of the beta, because it is a polymerization, beta prime. So in the first, there is an nascent chain, the blue one in this, and the green one in that side. What is the nascent chain? So you see this diagram, the nascent chain is attached. First we see the binding, followed by closed complex, followed by open complex. Then there is a term called promoter clearance. So this is the promoter clearance, how it occurs. The nascent chain, shown in small green chain, you see it is attached here. The nascent chain, nascent RNA chain, few 8-10 nucleotides long, have been polymerized. The sigma subunit will now be released. So this is the sigma subunit is released, and there we get now the holoenzyme. No, we get the core enzyme. So the core enzyme remains attached. The sigma is now released and it binds with another core enzyme. What is the denomination of the core enzyme? It is E. So one sigma is now free to bind another E to form another E sigma. Again, transcription will occur in another place, but now the core enzyme is free and coenzyme slides. Coenzyme slides along the DNA. So how it occurs? When the first 8 to 9 nucleotides of the have been folded, the sigma sub is released, leaving the coenzyme. The bound transcription initiation complex then moves away from the promoter to start the elongation. So the complex now gradually moves to right hand side, leaving the promoter, original promoter region behind, as if it is like a train. It is moving towards the right hand side, and the first, now it will get the access to the more and more bases towards the 3' end, and the promoter will now be totally released. So it is called the promoter clearance. So we, coming back to the entire class, the initiation, we first we know what is coding strand, what is non-coding strand, what are the designations. Next, what are the cycles of the transcription? Most important being 3 phases. What is the initiation, elongation, and termination? Next, what is promoter? What is the important role of promoter? What are the different sequences of the promoter? Next, what is holoenzyme? What is core enzyme? Once again, what is the role of sigma subunit? Why it is so important in binding the promoter site? What are the prokaryotic promoter regions? What is open complex? First, what is closed complex, then what is open complex, and now how the DNA undergoes unwinding. What is transcription bubble? Transcription bubble. We have seen what is transcription bubble and how the torsional stress is relieved in both sides of the transcription bubble. And next, the important thing is how the polymerization starts, and transcription bubble is kept constant almost, and how the sigma gets released and the promoter clearance occurs. This is end of transcription, end of initiation. We see, next we proceed to transcription elongation. Thank you. এই রেকর্ড তো হয়নি নাকি?